Welcome to Spoilers Intended, a podcast about series and films. I'm Ryan, joined as always by Andrew and Steven, and this is another 15-minute quick reacts to Ahsoka Season 1. And on this episode, we're reacting to Episode 6, so we're going to put 15 minutes on the clock and get into our thoughts. Big heads up as we'll be talking spoilers this whole episode. All right, are we ready, guys?
Sure, let's do it.
I'm ready.
Start the timer.
Timer's going.
What did you guys think?
So who had on their bingo card this week hermit crab aliens with dog wolves and gold filigree?
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna back you up there. Dog wolves?
I call them scrunkles. I don't know what y'all named them.
Wolf horses.
Scrunkles was mine.
Dogs and wolves is like almost the same thing.
He's a warg.
It's a wolf dog. It's a wolf horse.
It's a horf.
It's a wolf you can ride.
I like a horse.
That also does the clippity clops.
It's a dorse.
A dorse. Check out my dorse.
It's a dorse. A worse. A worse. Wait, hold on. This is gonna be bad.
We call it dorses over here.
It's a louse.
First off, Purgle bones as rings of a planet. Incredible.
It's pretty metal, honestly.
All I could see was just like Mufasa in the background, like
when they
everywhere the light touches.
They jumped in, and I was like, "Oh, cool!" It's like like a Earth-looking planet, but it's got like a ring around it. And then they started mentioning the thing about the
Purgle.
I can't remember what they said, but it's like the Purgle graveyard.
Space
like
whales
come here to die.
And I was like, "These the rings made of their bones," and they did the close-up shot, and I was like,
Filoni's like, "They sure are."
I thought the Ezra reunion was kind of weak.
Agreed.
They just kind of were like, "Hey, what's up? Hey,
Well,
you can find me. Cool."
I expected some tears, honestly. Like there's been a couple of years. There's been a lot between the two characters.
And I say that having not watched Rebels, not knowing like what their relationship or whatever was.
I don't know. I felt that it was fine. This episode, I like the episode as a whole, but this episode
same.
very much felt like an episode of Rebels.
Okay.
And like this episode was almost always after the last two, which have just been almost go. There's almost going to have to be a portion where things slow down.
There needs to be a breath before the big last two episodes for the penultimate and the finale.
Right. And I mean, they gave us a little taste of action with our little bit of like a Raiders in the middle of the
which was great. It was fantastic.
Yeah. I was really hoping when she finally was pushed down to pulling her lightsaber, that when it ignited, the Raiders were gonna like run away in fear. It'd be like, oh, they have encountered an Ezra,
right?
kind of thing. They know what this is, But of course,
they all pull out their own lightsabers.
Yeah.
Hold on, what's happening?
You've got one of those too.
What's this mean?
Well, we also got some pretty good bits with Shin and Baylen.
We did. Yes.
Yeah, we got two really good conversations with them, and clearly, I'm not going to say she's having second thoughts.
She's definitely questioning his motives, though.
Yeah, she's kind of like, hey, I'm in this for the evil and the havoc, and you're kind of doing the slow patience thing here, and I don't know how I like that.
I kind of get it because I'm also kind of frustrated with him of like he's speaking very like vaguely, and I'm like, so what are we doing though? Like there's a power, and I'm gonna change things. I'm like, cool, but like, do you have like a 5-point plan, or is it like a
PowerPoint you could share with you real quick?
We have a destination we're heading towards.
We need to have a Pechakucha here, and we need to have it sit down.
Yeah, exactly.
A Pechakucha, it's 20 slides, 20 seconds each.
Yeah. Or even like in Fairfield where you have the sharing stick. Here, I'll hold. You get the sharing stick. Just share your plan if you could. That'd be great.
So I'm going to talk about what my plan is, and right now it's to listen to you. And Baylen, now it's your turn to share your plan.
Quid pro quo.
I really. Oh, go ahead, Ryan.
I loved the wolf, the horse, the horse, the dorse. I loved the dorses. I loved the little.
It could be a horf. There we go.
Snail, well-dressed snail folk.
Oh, he was dapper, wasn't he?
Dude looked sharp as hell. I was like, where do I
like how they
vest?
swapped in and out, obviously, between CGI and a puppet.
And puppet.
Yeah.
I do like the use of the puppets there. Looked good.
It was a good touch.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it just helps blend everything in a little better. Go ahead.
Yeah, I loved Thrawn. I thought Lars Mikkelsen did really good. And again, I don't know how Thrawn was portrayed in the show necessarily, but he had definitely like a presence that was like,
oh yeah. Well, he's very, very calm and in charge and deliberate. Yeah. So how about the Andrew, correct me on this pronunciation, but the Kintsurugi? Oh my gosh. I looked this up. How do you say
Chimera?
it? No.
What
The
are we talking about?
stormtroopers, where the armor's been repaired with gold. It's
I have
the
no idea what the term
pottery
that is.
thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like kintsugi.
I'll look it up.
But man, they look so hot.
I'm not gonna lie, like
Yeah.
they look really good, and then the final dude turns, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm not sure if I expected to get like the gladiator style or the
I don't know. I loved
300
it.
style mask here out of the Empire."
I almost
I mean,
expected
it's
him.
cool. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Kintsugi. That's how it's
Kintsugi.
Yeah, Kintsugi troopers.
I thought it was fantastic.
Man, when Legion or Shatterpoint gets a hold of that, people gonna eat them.
Oh man, the
up.
501st is gonna go nuts over these.
Yeah. Oh, you mean I could just take my broken armor? Let's go.
And I loved all of they had like the red ribbons and stuff on them, and
and also our Wasteland
clearly very
Raiders.
cult-like.
But
Well,
like
my
our
immediate-
Wasteland Raiders had a lot of very samurai vibes
Yes,
going on too.
They did. Yeah. My
Yeah.
first reaction when they looked like pretty beat up was like, what have y'all been through? What's happened here? Like, what's that story?
I like that they have very much so a like, hey, we're not coming into this like Thrawn got ripped out at the end of Rebels basically in the middle of a battle.
Mhm.
Like they didn't get the Chimera did not get sent to a space dock for repairs. You know, like they haven't had the Imperial supply chain here available.
Right.
So like there is some suffering, and I like the bit with him talking with Morgan where he's like, you know, our numbers have dwindled in exile.
Yeah.
So I'm curious at where because he has a Star Destroyer with him. Like,
Yeah, and
where are you running into these kind of battles where you need to have ground combat?
Right. Yeah.
well, and also, I mean, if they're just spread, I mean, we've already seen the Raiders out there, but I mean, for all we know, the initial confrontation or the initial meeting with the Night Sisters wasn't pleasant.
Was not, yeah.
Could have
Yes,
been, yeah.
Until he convinced them of mutual aid or whatever's going on here.
Mhm.
Well, the Chimera looks so cool, kind of like battle damaged on the edges and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, and I mean, so I'm intrigued to see what kind of cargo we're loading as well out of the.
It looks
the
like
monolith.
bodies to me.
It does.
I thought it was
kind
bodies too.
It kind of almost looks like they're like transporting. Like, what if we have like Night Sisters frozen in carbonite? When we get back, it's like surprise, all Night Sisters.
I mean, that's possible.
Oops,
It
all
could
Night
be. Yeah,
This
it
is
could
my
be.
plan to take over the galaxy. What if I have 10,000 Dark Force users?
Yeah.
Magic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a moment where I was like, I got a little bit of Dune stuck in my Star Wars in this episode. There were like some I don't know, just vibes of like the aesthetic of some.
Well, I'll definitely say wherever they filmed that, like just on the ground, like with Sabine, like going through everything, like it was beautiful. I'm really curious at where that was.
So not to throw shade at another TV show that's recent here, but I will say, having watched a lot of One Piece recently, going back to Star Wars, you can definitely tell the polish and the experience in both the CGI and kind of the set. I mean, obviously they're looking for different vibes, but like it definitely felt much more like real and lived in.
Well,
which is kind of nice to go back to a polished world like that.
And what I've said before in previous episodes is like it still is startling to me. There's just been like 2 or 3 shots, especially when the destroyer's coming in over the Night Sisters. I'm like, how does this series look so much better than Obi-Wan or Book of Boba Fett? Like, Andor looked really good, so I'm not going to put that.
Some of it could be COVID as well. You know, there can't always be that. That still feels like issue for a while.
Boba Fett and Obi-Wan are like their flagship, like the biggest named characters.
I mean, these are some big characters.
Just delay it if you need more time.
Well, but so I think the actual thing here though is that Filoni and whoever else is working on the show had ideas for this, and I really feel that Obi-Wan and Book of Boba Fett was Disney basically saying, "Hey, we need shows.
We need a show about a big character. Let's get Obi-Wan out there. Let's get Boba Fett. The kids like Boba Fett. My kid liked that action figure. We should get him out there.
Gen Z loves the Boba Fett.
but with this, you can definitely tell that he had a plan. He had an idea of where he wanted to go with this, and it clearly shows because the production value, the pacing, the story, everything so far has all been pretty tight.
I like the moment with Ahsoka and Hu Yang too.
Yeah,
on the ship there. That was good.
We got basically the episode we expected, which, after last episode we said, hey, probably next episode is going to be very Sabine focused. I expected it to be more of an in transit, maybe some Baylen discussions.
Same,
obviously we kind of glossed over some of that. Sabine slept on a very hard bed for however long it took.
Listen, maybe she's got back issues. She needs that firm mattress.
Just straighten that out. Like,
she requested it. Give me that one.
But I think just so she I don't think that we needed one, even half an episode of them in transit just for how much
we didn't need that much time. And then again, if this was 10 episodes in this season, or we knew there was another season before we need this movie to cap it off, at this rate, we're gonna end this season and the Chimera is gonna pop out of hyperspace. And then it's going to cut to the planet side, and Grogu and Din are going to look up, and it's you can see the Star Destroyer, and it's all right, movie begins. How are we going to get these characters together?
So one of the things that does kind of take a little bit of the edge off for any kind of tension is the fact that we know that the Purgles can make the transit. So because of that,
no, tension's back though. This is where they go to die. Is there a return
even
ticket
going back?
Okay. No, that's actually totally fair. That's totally fair. I'm going to recount.
Having
Your Honor,
said that,
I'd like it stricken from the record.
Having said that, it's implied they migrate, so presumably they do this more than once in their lifespans.
Yes.
And also Ahsoka talked to the one and was like, "Hey, we need this trip."
Ahsoka's got to just talk one of them off the ledge of going to die. Come on, look, you're so young. Look at your Purgle flask.
You got so much to live for.
Well, because basically right now we have a 3-day time limit of when the Chimera is going to go back to I'll say the settled systems, because Starfield, but
now we also have tension.
So why do we have a 3-day time limit?
Well, that's just what
the cargo.
Yeah, how long it takes to load all the dead cryogen or sisters or whatever.
The floaty boxes. We don't know what they are. Well, also though, Thrawn's already said open fire on any Purgle that enters the system. Right. So it could be that they didn't go here because they're at the end of their life, but it's still going to be the end of their life. It could still be. We don't know. So
what do you think Baylen's whole thing is? Because he keeps talking about resetting the system. He keeps
this is kind of out of left field. So I do kind of almost wonder if this is sort of a another kind of balance the Force move thing, right?
It could be,
because he's very much so kind of outside of the typical light side dark side user. We don't it's not Jedi or Sith, it just kind of is.
Well, and I do like that he told Shin, he was like, I didn't train you to be a Jedi, I trained you to be something more, but he didn't say Sith, he didn't say dark Jedi or anything like that.
Exactly. Which they're not running around with Sith eyes. This is very much so.
We're magicians, and he starts doing card tricks.
We're gonna have a traveling troupe.
He starts pulling his thumb off.
But I do like that he's a very much so, because one of the issues with Inquisitors or other dark side users is typically it's very much so an aggressive. You act, and he's
got an angle. I don't know what it is. That's exactly.
Most of the time they're comical bad guys. He actually has an angle that he's trying to achieve.
He's got some gravitas too,
and he also looks extremely cool still.
Oh man, so ridiculous!
Both of their outfits just are incredible.
They're so good. Okay, real random, because we didn't get any answers for this in this episode. So who was the other fallen Jedi that disappeared into the green smoke when Ahsoka killed him?
It's just the Night Sister
doesn't
fog.
Matter.
Yeah, it doesn't
then
matter.
If that's the case, why did Shin freak out like she had killed her brother?
I think it's just more on the lines of
the way she screamed, it was like there is significance here. There is meaning in the death that just happened. And I'm like, okay, we got to find out. And if we don't, I'm going to be mad. That's all.
I don't think we're ever going to find that out.
Then I'm already mad. Don't scream like that if it's just a smoke boy.
Well, maybe she didn't know.
Else?
Who knows?
We got the 1 minute warning coming up. What else can we talk about?
Well, what's next for us? Where are we going here? We got Baylen needs to go find unknown power, right?
Yeah, right. And stop Ezra and Sabine or whatever. But presumably, who knows?
He's already said, the enemy of our enemy is our friend for now, which can also be played in the opposite direction. Yeah,
can be completely opposite for there. They know that they have a 3-day time limit. I honestly don't really know where this is going yet.
And Thrawn's already listed them as expendable in this process, right? So like we could easily have Thrawn betrays them, and then we have a alliance of convenience between all of our lightsaber wielders.
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't mind I mean, I definitely wouldn't mind to get the band back together, kind of like lightsaber assault onto the Chimera. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Dude, if we send like all 5 of these people in lightsabers blazing on the Chimera,
like the Night Sisters and
the Night Sisters are there doing their weird
the creepy thing.
Every time I see the Night Sisters, I just think of Scarlet Witch from Marvel, and that's just what I imagine their powers to be.
I saw the 3 fates from Hercules. I expected to be like, no.
That's our time. That's
our time.
Okay. That's all the time we got. As always, if you like our content, you can find more over at spoilersintendedpodcast.com, where you can find links to our Discord, our socials, our Patreon, where you can get, for just $1 a month, you get access to all of our bonus content. We'll be back next week with another 15-minute reacts. At the end of the series, we'll post a full review of Ahsoka as a regular full-size episode. All right, I think that about does it for us. Until next time, I'm Ryan.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Steven.
And every spoiler was intended.